Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a new video. In this video we're gonna have a look at an attacking example. Attacking chess can be quite difficult at some times because not always there is an easy way to break through. Not always are we ready to execute a combination, but sometimes we need to attack more patient, and that's the difficult part. So to practice this, I have this position for you, and my question is, how should we proceed? Try to take your time, try to see your options, and then come up with a solution, and we will just continue. So the first move one might consider is this check on f3, which seems very natural. So this is a good move, but we will see that we come to some points where it's not clear how to proceed. So basically black has two options, either knight f6 or bishop f6. All the other stuff is just not working, and we will try to find ways how to break those defenses. Why do we start with queen f3? Because we should always start with the checks and the captures, and it's just the most forcing. Also queen h5 could be a move we can start with, but this is the check, so we start with this one. So let's start with knight f6, and here my question is, how should we proceed? If you have not thought about this yet, try to take your time. So if your move is knight to e7, this is absolutely wrong, because black is ready to bring more defenders to his king. He's controlling the e line, and we just cannot deliver any mate. The same with knight to f6. After bishop f6, again black is fine. We cannot sacrifice here because the queen takes. We can pin it, but it is not crushing. So what should we do in positions where there is no direct win? The key principle is bring more pieces into the attack. And basically we have three pieces which are not playing, and we could bring them into the attack. Now it's a question, should we start with this bishop here, or should we start with this rook? In such situations, I would come to my decision by comparing a little bit and try to understand what my opponent is willing to do. So in this situation, maybe he has the idea to organize some defense with the bishop. So this might be a plus for the rook because we prevent bishop to e6. Also, this bishop, maybe we are not yet sure if we want to bring it here or maybe even there in some cases. So we have no clear best square for the bishop. So it's better to start with this rook move because, we are sure if this rook wants to join the attack, it needs to go to e1. Also, we cover this defensive idea, and this is, improving the attack a lot. Basically, with this move, we are just getting ready, maybe getting ready to bring the bishop in next, or maybe ready to sacrifice something already. So let's see what black could try here, and we have a look at different approaches. So let's first start with a very aggressive move, attacking our queen bishop to g4. Can you find the refutation here? Can pause the video if you like, take your time, and we will continue with the solution, which is knight f6. Always consider your captures. We can take here because knight h7 would be made in case he takes our queen, and if he recaptures on f6, we trade the rooks and we take on g4. We are 2 pawns up, and note that we are not mated because the bishop can return to f1. So bishop g4 is refuted. What else is there? So basically this bishop has no other moves because d7 absolutely makes no sense, and we can just bring more attackers. So let's have a look at more forcing options. For example, c6, asking us to do something with the knight immediately. And in this situation, we can take on f6 as well. And pawn takes is of course impossible due to bishop h6 mate. So he needs to take with the bishop. And we bring a new piece, and this is again very crushing. So we have no winning breakthrough immediately, but again we bring just the next piece, and we have just too many attackers, and once we exchange this rook, then we again have such a huge majority, and black is hopelessly lost. He could try to prevent bishop to b4 with, for example, c5, but yeah, the majority of pieces just will make the difference. We can play queen to h5, threatening mate, threatening this pawn here, and there is just no good defense. For example, queen d7, but we just take, and basically nothing can be done except giving a lot of material. So that's it if he attacks us with c6. Let's have a look at one more try, for example, knight c6. Again, here there is just one move which is clearly winning, and again it's about bringing in new pieces, and the move is bishop to h6, which is both very beautiful and very aggressive, because yeah, what is actually our threat? Maybe we need to figure out this first. So if it was us to move, let's consider our captures and then find out which capture is the strongest. So I would probably consider this capture here first. Knight takes e7, because with this move, bishop h6, we kind of loosened the knight on f6 already, because the pawn is no longer defending it, because it's pinned. And so once we can eliminate the defender on e7, then on the knight on f6 will just lose its support. And yeah, after knight e7, I think the game is already over, because queen f6 is a threat in case of rook or knight takes, and of course black cannot take with the queen. So that's our big threat. So black should do something about it, but it's not so easy. He cannot take here. He could try to take the bishop, but again, if he takes the bishop immediately, then again we have a winning attack. We can take on f6 since it's loose, and the bishop is very loose there, so he cannot take with the queen there, and if the king takes, the king is quite open, and we can attack it in very classical style, check, check, and bringing in the last attacker, and mate coming. So that's the way how we break the defense after knight to c6. Another way to try to stabilize the f6 knight is knight to d7. However, the drawback of this move is that black is absolutely paralyzed. He can probably not move any single piece here, and also the king is quite stuck. It can never run away, and we just try to find new targets, for example the c7 pawn, and we can attack it with bishop to f4. However, right now I'm wondering what's actually happening after bishop to d6. Can you find a win here? So one idea would be, maybe we can take it, and rook e8. If he takes with the queen, we have knight c7, winning a lot of material back, which I think should be enough. However, if we take, and he takes with the king, we can bring in a new rook, king to f8 back, and then it's the question how to continue. Not so clear at the first sight to me. Maybe we can increase the pressure with bishop to g5 here. What can he do then? He can trade the rooks, but we are ready to bring the next rook, so that's not such a big improvement. But my concern was a little bit that we don't have a threat. Let's see. If it was us to move, can we take, and take? Probably not, because he again has enough defenders left. So we need to come up with a plan here, which is not so easy. Let's have a look. Can we maybe start with this move? Again, If he takes with the queen, then we're done, because we take d6 and play knight c7. If he takes with the knight, it's of course not possible because we have a discovered check. If he takes with the king, maybe there is something. Well, not so clear to me. Maybe we have some line like takes, king takes, check, king goes to f8, and then some attacking move, maybe even taking and g4. The king is still stuck. We are just one piece down for 2 pawns, and we're threatening to regain the piece. Still not entirely clear to me, but I think this looks quite promising, and I would be ready to go for it in a game. If h6, we can either consider playing h4, or we could also consider bringing the knight to g6, which would actually also be a mate. So I think this is looking quite okay and probably winning. So that's it. I think knight d7 is the toughest try, but I think white should stay on top after bishop d6. Let's have a look at the other defense, which is bishop to f6. Trying to organize the defense with the bishop. And again, the solution is, yeah, we can just bring a new piece, and this time this knight is a bit unstable. After knight to d6, we again have this pinning motive, protecting our rook and bringing in a new piece. He cannot take c4 because we take f6 with deadly threats. And if he tries to defend, we can just secure our bishop, and again he is quite stuck. We can have a look at some defensive tries. Okay, a6 is not a try, but maybe he can try to force us to do things, and we can try, try if we find a solution here. So what can we do? Again, for me it's interesting to consider this move because we might have some threats on e6. Also, he cannot take here because we just checkmate. Trading the rooks doesn't help, and if it was me to move, I would probably bring in my queen, threatening knight g6 check, h takes, and queen h8 mate. So I think this looks quite promising. Whenever he moves the knight, yeah, I'm ready to start my attack as well, and I think black is lost here. So let's have a look. What else could he try after attacking the knight? I think there is not so much he can do. He has no discovered attacks. Exploiting the back rank, we should look into all directions, but basically after knight g5, I take and my rook is protected, and all the other ones are not so forcing. Knight d6, we check. Knight c5 is not challenging because we could just ignore the knight. It's not attacking anything, and he cannot really attack it, defend it otherwise. There is another move, counter-attacking. Let's have a look how to refute this one. Let's see. Maybe we can just take on f6 again. If he takes with the queen, we can probably take e4. And everything is well defended. We are 2 pawns up, which should be enough for a start. And if he takes with the knight, we can apply the same motive as before, bringing the last piece into the attack. So that's it for this one. Is there anything else we need to check? Bishop g5. I think here there is basically nothing else than protecting the bishop, because otherwise we just take, and bishop h6 mate. And this we already checked. So that's it for the example. I hope I could give you some insights on the attacking play, about the most important principle, bringing new pieces into the attack, not always stopping when you cannot break through immediately, but to be patient, to realize how you can play against some kind of paralyzed position, And yes, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed it and hope to see you next time. Goodbye.